What's up? Hey, hello, everyone. Today we are doing our Survivor Season 31 Second Chance Episode 12 recap. What a crazy episode. It had so many feels and emotions. So my name is Rachel.
And I'm Alyssa. So we were supposed to have this video up yesterday, but we had technical difficulties again. So sorry for that, guys. So this episode was a family visit, which is arguably one of the best episodes in every Survivor season, just because the castaways have been away from their families for an entire month, and then they finally get to see them again.
Yeah, I thought it was so emotional. Like, everyone was crying. I was like living vicariously through them. I felt sad. It had so many feels, so emotional. Like, do you want to go into it more?
Well, we could talk about whose was the most emotional, because I think that would be quite an interesting conversation.
Yeah, so I feel like who's in the running? We can say Val telling Jeremy that it's a baby boy, Spencer telling his girlfriend that he loves her. Yeah,
Joe.
Joe bringing his dad out since he didn't get to the first time, and that was like his main goal of getting onto Survivor was to make it to the family visit. So all three of these, it follows that like storyline that the producers have been trying to get us to see, because all of this, like, it has been mentioned before this episode and now it's coming out.
So I think of all of them, Jeremy's was probably the most touching, just because it's a longer lasting thing. I think you understand.
Yeah, I feel like Jeremy's, yeah, because he didn't know like if it was a boy or if it was a girl, and like that's going to change his life like once it happens.
And
Crazy.
part of it also is he was so torn up about being on Survivor, because he wants to provide for his family, but he also doesn't want to miss his wife's pregnancy.
Yeah. So it's good that they're all doing well. Like, it's crazy how they're so disconnected from everyone. They don't actually know what's happening unless something really bad happens.
Yeah, like with what happened earlier this season.
Yeah, so
So
should we talk about the actual challenge of the where you like had to dig up the sandbags and then get really dizzy and then go across a balance beam and then you had to do that puzzle?
personally, I think I would be really great at that challenge. I'm really great at spinning, just saying. But throughout the challenge, we had different people who took the lead, and it seemed like some people would definitely win and some people would definitely lose. But there was a definite come from behind thing, because they had that puzzle element. And puzzles can be difficult for quite a few people on our cast.
Yeah, like Kimmy was in the lead until the balance beam, and then she couldn't get across the balance beam, and like everyone passed her, but she was like out front, and I was like, oh dang, Kimmy's doing something. And like in one of the like secret scenes on the Survivor CBS channel, Tasha was saying like how she wasn't trying to win because like she didn't want to be in Kelly Wentworth's position of having to choose the tribe mates to go on the reward. And it was so funny at the end when Keith was like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so Kelly Wentworth won, like Rachel just said, and she got to choose more people to go with her than were left out. And so the three people left out were Jeremy and Tasha and Spencer. And
Yes. Oh, so the first three people that she picked in this order, she picked Keith first, then she picked Abby, and then she picked Kimmy third, and then Jeff was like, you can pick one more, and then she picked Joe. So do you think it's like hard to pick who you want to go, and like could it reveal and make people angry and mad at you?
I mean, all the people that Kelly made angry were already pretty much angry at her because they were in her alliance. But I think it shows a hierarchy within an alliance more than it shows who your alliances are. Just because the person that you picked last is obviously the person that you care less about in your alliance, and that showed because she picked Joe last, and then Joe ended up going home because his alliance voted against him. So
Yeah, do you think Keith is number one in her alliance?
I'm not sure whether Keith is number one or he's just like, well, we can pretty much agree that Keith is the GOAT in their alliance. So
Yeah, we can talk about it during the the tribal section of this podcast because
yeah,
the
but
way
like
he voted.
that might be why like she chose him first because like she has to keep him happy so that if she takes him to the final three, then he won't like be trashing on her at the final tribal council.
Yeah. Yeah, so speaking of the final tribal council, we see that Jeremy, Spencer, and Tasha make a pact to become the final three.
I'm not exactly sure how much those packs mean because there was a final five thing that never ended up happening. Once they merged, everyone was sort of like, you know what we said earlier? Let's not do that. So,
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, we can talk about it at the end or we can like talk about it now. But do you think it is a good move for Tasha to go with Spencer and Jeremy or to go with the female alliance that Kimmy was talking about it? And good for Kimmy actually wanting to do something. Like she's like, I need to take this into my own hands. So it's like she's actually thinking out there and she's not as much of a goat as we thought. So I was like, yes, Kimmy, you got it.
I just have
Girl
one thing to
alliance.
say about that. Kimmy is such a freaking hypocrite. Because this is the exact thing that she voted Monica out for. Like, don't act like you're all high and mighty thinking of this great idea when someone suggested it to you earlier in the game and you voted them out for it. Like, come on, Kimmy, have some class.
Yeah, true. Now she likes the witches again. She was so adamant about getting them out like 2 episodes ago, and now she's like, yay, girl alliance. But it would be cool to see a girl alliance.
But let's talk, I guess, about that since we're already speaking on it.
Yeah. So do you think it's
Um,
better for Tasha? Which way?
I think that Tasha staying with the boys would probably be more beneficial for her, just because she'd obviously be on the bottom of any alliance that she made with Kelly and Kimmy, because like if you were Kelly Wentworth, who would you want to take with you to the final three?
Kimmy
Kimmy,
and Abby.
yeah, Kimmy and Abby, because they haven't really made any moves this game.
And if you
But
were
like
Tasha with the
Tasha did a lot of maneuvering back when she was on Angor.
she would want to go with Kimmy and Abby also, so then you would have that like girl fight there between
And it would
Tasha
be
and
like
Wentworth.
basically who was more popular. And I think since Kimmy was the one who like came up with the idea, she would be the one who was like the deciding vote. Just because like Kelly and Abby have been together like for a very long time and they were on the bottom together, so they would probably vote together to vote out Tasha if it came to it.
Oh, so then Tasha would be fourth, and then Kimmy, Abby, and Wentworth would be the final three. Yeah, I feel because Tasha would be on the outs of that. So I
Yeah,
guess,
and then with Jeremy and Spencer, she's like one of the final three.
like, yeah, automatically in. But yeah, the problem with Jeremy, Spencer, Tasha, all three of them have big moves on their resume. Like Jeremy playing the idol for Steven, Spencer getting Steven out, Tasha maneuvering Anchor, like you just said. And like, even though her and Savage were on the bottom, they were able to vote out the other people, and now they're still here.
I mean, I feel like if they were in the final three, it would come down less to like the strategy of the game and more of the social aspect, which I
Yeah.
think Jeremy would easily have in the bag. Just because like Spencer's been getting better at not being an emotionless robot, but most of the time we were shown that he was talking to Jeremy,
Mm-hmm.
so the other people on his tribe wouldn't see that as much.
Yeah, definitely. Since they all are sort of like equal strategy, it would be like who has the most friends on the jury, and I feel that Jeremy.
Steven would definitely vote for Jeremy.
Yeah,
Like
true.
I cannot think of a situation wherein Stephen would not vote for Jeremy.
Yeah, and then if Jeremy brings up like he needs the money for his family and stuff, that's going to that could sway some people's heartstrings and they might vote for him because he did play a good game. It's not like he's just using the sympathy vote to get
Yeah,
votes.
he's like using the sympathy vote in addition to his
Yeah.
good game, and I think like with all the people on the jury who are parents, they could definitely like appreciate the need to like care for your child. Like Kelly Wigglesworth has a 2-year-old, Savage has kids. Who else
Yeah,
has kids?
Sierra, Cass, right?
Yeah, so
So, and then if he brings it back to like the Terry thing, then he's like, Terry's kid, like he had to get pulled because of the kid. Like I was like always wondering about my like not yet born child, and then like he could be like Val told me in the family visit, and then stuff like that, and that could be like a
that
story.
would also be a really great thing to like vilify Kelly Wentworth though. Like she sucked because she didn't let me spend time with my pregnant wife.
Yeah. So that was an interesting. Should we go to the immunity challenge?
Yes, the immunity challenge.
Yeah, so one man and one woman could win the challenge, a last standing man and the last standing woman, because apparently as the weight of the poles are really heavy. So yeah, I can see that. It's harder for the women to hold it. And actually all the girls got out before any of the guys got out. So
Yeah.
all of them dropped, and then it was Tasha and Wentworth, and then Tasha dropped the statue, and then Wentworth won.
I mean, I still don't like that they're doing a lot of like balancing or endurance type challenges just because they're still not fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I think it was pretty obvious. Like, you could tell that Kimmy and Abby were getting out pretty early. And it was really down to Wentworth and Tasha for the girls. I
Oh my
think the
God.
guys had a lot more equal of a game up until that point.
Yeah, it's against Tasha and Wentworth again. If they end up in the final four, they would fight. But yeah, all the girls sort of like, Abby and Kimmy can't really hold those things. And so, yeah, the more athletic ones, we can see that. And yeah, like you're right. When they're balancing things, you can like tell when they're going to drop. And then like the camera's on it and then the music changes. So then you can sort of tell. But yeah, I think the relay races are cooler. Like for the reward challenge, it's more
Yeah.
interesting.
But so we had the really dramatic ending to the immunity challenge where Joe just straight out collapses.
Yeah, Keith and Joe lasted 1 hour and 20 minutes holding that. What was it like 16-foot pole, and then their necks were craned back? That was crazy.
I mean, I read somewhere that when they did the rehearsal for the immunity challenge, they had lasted like not even a third of that time. Like they had lasted like 25 minutes.
Oh my
And
God.
so to see that kind of dedication was like scary. And I think that Kelly Wentworth put it best when she was like, I can't compete against someone who's willing to pass out to win an immunity challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Like pushing yourself to exhaustion, like letting your body like collapse like Joe did. It must be like really hard, and not a lot of people aren't able to like kill themselves for an immunity challenge. So it's like willing to push yourself that far is so hard to do, and like Joe didn't want to lose, but everyone wanted Joe to lose, and then it's like, "Oh, you feel bad that he lost because he blacked out, but like it's time to vote you out."
I mean, I think part of it is like not only does that make him like a really fierce challenge competitor, but like if he had gotten to the final tribal council, he would have been able to be like, this is my dedication to the game. Like they can all say that they love Survivor, but Joe really like he walked the walk. And I don't know.
Yeah, they needed to vote him out this time because they let him slide last time with
With that.
Fish, and then he could go on an immunity run. And I really think Keith won this, so I feel like Keith has a large like challenge target because Keith is always the one that's like right behind Joe, like trying to win everything. So I feel like Keith is like now the new Joe, sort of.
I mean, I think part of it is like I think that Jeremy and Spencer can at least compete a little bit more with Keith than they could with
Hmm.
Joe. Just because, like, Keith, I don't think was as like about it as Joe had been. Like he's willing to compete hard, but he's not willing to like pass out.
Yeah. So should we go to tribal and the before tribal talk?
Yeah, so before tribal, that was when there was a lot of talk about the Girls Alliance. Tasha told Jeremy and
Spilled
Spencer
the
about it.
beans. Yeah, she told them. And then she's like, I didn't want to create distrust between us, so I need to tell Jeremy and Spencer so they know now and they don't hear from someone else. Then she's like, but all I actually created was like more like nervousness because they're all like crazed now.
But I mean, I think that she was right to tell them when
Yeah, if she wants to work with them as the final three, then yeah, good move, I guess.
yeah,
Good telling them.
good job, Tasha. But so for a while, it seemed like they were like faking people out. Like, are they gonna vote Joe or Abby? Joe or Abby? But I think it was pretty obvious that they were gonna vote Joe. It's like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me type thing. With Joe
Yeah.
slipping by last vote.
And it was interesting, like before tribal, they didn't have any shots of Keith talking to anyone. And then at tribal, everyone voted for Joe except Keith voted for Tasha.
Excuse me. So yeah, that was an interesting tribal. I think Steven was very, very happy, but I don't know. Well, I
Yeah.
know he was very, very happy. He was practically like cheering.
It's
But
it's weird, like the jury, it's like, so Savage wanted Cass out, and then they're like, Cass got out, then Savage got out, and then it's like Steven wanted Sierra out, and then like Sierra was out first, and then Steven's out first, and then Joe wanted Steven out, and now Steven's out, and then Joe's out. I don't know. It's like a if you want someone out, you're the next one to go.
you have to pay the price.
Yeah, and it's like, so why do you think Keith voted for Tasha?
I honestly have no idea. Just maybe it was like a warning type vote where like, "Ooh, I'm coming for you next" type thing. But I think that that could definitely be dangerous for them just because if Keith is against the only girl who's willing to like stand with the guys, then
Yeah. And like no one likes seeing their name written down. I feel like Tasha might like be like on the lookout. She wants to figure out who it was because like I don't know. She seems like sort of like the Abby type, and like when you write the name down, like they get sort of angry and then they need to figure out what happened.
yeah. I'm not sure if their idea of a girls' alliance is really gonna work, just because they need like a really strong leader. Like part of the reason that the Black Widow book in Micronesia was so successful was the fact that Parvati was like willing to like go for the jugular. And I'm not sure if Kimmy's like the strong enough leader that they need, or if Kelly's gonna be able to unite them all. So
Yeah, and it's weird. Both sides of these alliances have idols now. So we could see something like if both sides play their idol for themselves or like another person to try to keep their side's numbers up. That could be interesting.
I think it all comes down to who like times the idol better.
Yeah.
Just because like using an idol when you're not actually in danger kind of sucks, but not using an idol when you're in danger also sucks. So it comes down, I think, to being able to read people and like know like, oh, this person's in trouble. So
Yeah, so it'll be interesting next week. So I feel like the two different sides, it's like Wentworth, Abby, and Kimmy, and then on the other side, it's like Jeremy, Spencer, and Tasha. So then Keith is sort of like, I don't know, I feel like Keith could go either way.
mm, I'm not really sure if kids could go either way because if he found out that there was an all girls alliance, I think that would kind of be eh. But like talking more about the idols, I'm not sure if Wentworth would use her idol on anyone in her alliance. Like I don't think that she would be able to use it for Abby or Kimmy, just because she is just keeping them as goats.
Yeah, I feel like both of them would, Wentworth and Jeremy would probably use it for themselves. And then it would be interesting if that vote, like the majority was for Wentworth and Jeremy, and then they both used it. But that could be hard.
Part of it is also, I think that Jeremy might use his idol on Spencer just because when he used it on Steven, he told Spencer, "Oh, I'd do the same for you." And I think that like making good on his word for that would like give him an even stronger thing to say at the final tribal. Like, not only did I use my idol on another person once, I used it on another person twice.
I used 2 idols on other people, not even myself, and I'm still here. That would be cool.
Yeah. So it's your turn to go first, right?
Yeah, so I guess next week, I feel like Keith would go with the guys. I mean, I don't know. We never even hear anything like from Keith, any confessionals from Keith about like what he's thinking or like where he wants to go. But I mean, I don't know. I guess he would go with the guys since it's more like you can't be the only guy with all girls. That doesn't really bode well for votes later on. So I feel like it might be like a 4-3 thing with Wentworth, Abby, and Kimmy on one side, and then Jeremy, Keith, Spencer, and Tasha on the other side. And then it's like it depends who they vote for, because if they vote for Wentworth and then she uses the idol, you could very well get someone on the majority side out. But maybe they'll play it safe, and then I'll say Abby because they know she won't have an idol.
I mean, I kind of follow the same logic as you. Keith will go with Jeremy, Spencer, Tasha. Tasha will stay with the boys. And Keith will be 4th place, and then the 3 of them will be the final 3. And, I mean, I think it's either going to be Abby or Kimmy, but Abby was the name that was thrown around this past episode, so I have to say Abby, too.
Nice. It's crazy. There's only 2 more episodes this season, so it'll be like what, at 6 this time, then it'll be the
I still think
finale.
they're going to do a double elimination. That's just me. But
Yeah, because it's weird. They usually go into like the finale with 5, so unless they eliminate 2 people this time, then it's like 6 for 2 hours.
I mean, I think that it would be really great if, like, they went to tribal council thinking they had to vote one person out, and then Jeff was like, "Nope, actually, you're voting out 2 people."
Like in some of those seasons where it's like that, and then they do like another immunity challenge, which is like trivia, or like they hold those blocks up, and then that person will get the immunity. Then they have to like no talking, then you vote someone else out.
Yeah,
That would be
kind of
really
like
cool.
they did the very first tribal where they went straight from the immunity challenge into tribal.
Oh yeah, that would be really interesting how the tribe goes with that.
Yeah, because I think that would definitely like tell how cohesive each of the alliances are and whether or not they have like a ringleader.
Yeah, and if they like, if Abby goes first, then the Keith, Kimmy, or Keith, Jeremy, Spencer, and Tasha, they definitely have the power unless they figure they want to get one of their own out. Since
I mean, I feel like if they could get like Abby out, they'd have a majority of 4-2. So I feel like they might like get Keith out, just because that might like trick Wentworth into playing her idol. Like, oh, I'm gonna be the next one out, when really it was Keith. So, because that way they could also make sure that Keith didn't win any immunity challenges, so he wouldn't be like Joe and.
yeah, so it depends on like if they do like a challenge right before, then they like do like the multiple choice question thing or something, and then who wins that, and then they can like vote someone out. That would be really interesting. And I guess some of them could figure it out if they count like the amount of days left and how many people are left. Then they might like get a whiff of what's happening.
I'm not sure if that's exactly what they're thinking of, because they're more thinking like I have to make it the next day. Because I feel like a 39-day thing isn't really something you can do where you're like thinking about like way ahead. Just because I feel like thinking about the end of the game is what screws a lot of people up really easily.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes next week. Thank you all for commenting and subscribing. We really appreciate all of the support that we're getting because we love doing this and we hope to continue doing it for a very, very long time. So thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you all so much. We'll see you next Friday at 9:30 because we don't have anything going on this week.
Bye.
Oh, bye.